Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hope you're doing well. Loomer having a normal rant saying ban all Islamic immigration. So Loomer is just obsessed with us. She kind of makes me think that we're actually more badass than we realize, because the fact that she wakes up every day, logs in or stays logged in to X, and then thinks to herself, I must mention the Muslims again, tells me that we are really got her shook. Like, I'm a Muslim woman, just in my Islamic clothing, me just going to a coffee shop, getting a nice little pumpkin spice latte. Imagine I see Laura Loomer on the corner. She's like, I'm Muslim. Ah! Then she just rages on X. Oh, I saw a Muslim today. Ah! She's insane. I want to show you something that will help make you see how much of a fool Laura Loomer is. This is a quote by Ronald Reagan, who was very popular amongst the Christians, and even Trump really liked Reagan. Reagan gave amnesty to, I believe, 9 million illegal Latinos, and he also had this quote. It reads, "We in the United States, above all, must remember that lesson, for we were founded as a nation of openness to people of all beliefs, and so we must remain. Our very unity has been strengthened by our pluralism. We establish no religion in this country. We command no worship. We mandate no belief. Nor will we ever. Church and state are and must remain separate." So when you see that quote by Ronald Reagan, and then you realize further how many comments the founding fathers made that were a bit snarky against the Christians, you begin to notice that, hey, those atheists might have had a point, that America was founded as a secular nation, right? And so the First Amendment cannot just target one religion. And I want you to notice something here. Looney Loomer doesn't say go after the occultists. Isn't that really interesting? I notice this more and more. Nobody really says, I mean, you have some Christians, like old school Christians who are fans of Jordan Maxwell, who I've studied his work, and others who have studied his work, they're like, yeah, we know what's up. You know, we gotta fight against this or fight against that. Laura Loomer doesn't rage against the occultists. I'm not saying that she has to rage against all Freemasons, because the Freemason era is over, and they don't have that spookiness anymore. But you have to remember about the Freemasons and the Christians. For a while were at each other's throats, okay? And she doesn't focus on those wider threats. Muslims are still a minority in America, but remember, she's in it for the long game. She knows, okay, gotta get these Christians on board with war with Iran. She wants to expand greater is not real. She wants that for her tribe. And she could just be more honest about it. But she frames her opposition to Islam as something based on national security, when in reality, it's based upon what she and her tribe want for their country. From my understanding, she was born in America, but she does love her religion and her tribe, her ethnic group, more. I'm not going to tell her not to do that, because I don't think the Bible or the Torah, and especially not Muslims, tell us to put a nation's flag before God, right? Because maps get redrawn, and that's something that I've been thinking about a lot. You look at these old school maps, just look how so much has changed. And that there was somebody who was like, I'm gonna sacrifice my life for these lines on a map. I don't know, it's just something really different. And so she frames her opposition to Islam as something like, they're coming to harm us, they're coming to do this, they're gonna put a hijab on the Statue of Liberty, or take it down as an idol. Like, her sky is falling rhetoric is organized, intentional, hyperbolic, but it's also unfounded. And it's not based on actual American values. It's not. She wants to erode. I mean, she even said, like, she wants Trump to be more authoritarian. So, I've spent time reading the Federalist Papers. You can go check out that playlist. I need to get back to it, but I don't have a whole lot of free time to do the long readings because I have small children. But if you go back and you read the works of John Jay, Alexander Hamilton, and others, John Adams, you begin to notice that Laura Loomer does not want their vision, and she's not opposed to Islam because of the founding fathers' behavior or rhetoric or theories or philosophy. It's specifically because she's a Zio and she has a mission, but she's so sneaky and disingenuous that she won't just say that. She has to decorate it up, put a little makeup on it, and be like, no, it's because I love America that I hate Muslims. Like, no. We know exactly what you're doing. Your tribe doesn't have soldiers. And I saw a reel, which I've seen it recycled many times, but it showed some Orthodox Jays protesting about the draft. Their young men didn't want to enlist in the military. Now, I'm not for the draft in America, but I'm just pointing out how there is a phenomenon of people not wanting to fight their own wars. You know, I just thought it was very suspect that there would be people who say, hey, you know what? We want you to go fight on our behalf while we stay in safety, even though we're able-bodied. And our tribe and our nation started this war. Very suspect. So, she never focuses on that. It's just very organized how she is obsessed with us Muslims. She wakes up every day and thinks about us. You know, this Laura Loomer just wakes up and thinks about a hijab. You're like, ugh, what is a Muslim woman doing today, huh? Making macaroni and cheese? Deport. What is that Muslim man doing? Is he putting oil in his beard? The humanity. She's insane. She's not even allowed to own a firearm. She was committed twice by her father to a mental ward. Ban Laura Loomer from Botox.